The story begins with a man standing motionless by the lake. His wife was about to step forward to ask him something when she noticed that her husband's eyes had turned red. Before she could react, the man dove headfirst into the lake. The man soon regained consciousness and desperately tried to crawl onto the shore, but as soon as he climbed out, something terrifying happened. The woman struggled to the surface, and the husband tried to pull her up. Suddenly, ghostly hands emerged from the lake, dragging her down to the bottom, and she was gone from the world forever. 20 years passed in the blink of an eye. The man's son, Roma, had grown up and was about to marry his girlfriend, Marina. To show his support, the father gave the couple a house by the lake. That night, Roma went with his friend Elia to check out the house, planning a pre-wedding celebration. After drinking too much, Roma went to the lakeside to calm down, but soon, strange noises came from behind him. Frightened, Roma quickly swam back to the shore. As he was about to climb out, he suddenly saw a woman standing on the shore, soaking wet. The woman was wearing his clothes. She then took out a comb and began brushing her hair. This enchanting scene mesmerized Roma, and he walked uncontrollably toward the woman and engaged in an intimate gesture. Meanwhile, his girlfriend had been trying to call Roma but couldn't get through. When she finally found him, Roma had fainted by the lake and the woman had already disappeared. However, her comb had fallen to the ground. Thinking it belonged to Roma, his friends took the comb back with them. Back home, Roma did not tell Marina about what had happened the previous night, and from then on, strange events began to unfold. One day, after training, Roma went to the bathroom to take a shower, completely unaware of a terrifying spirit behind him. At that moment, he heard strange noises coming from outside and went to check. Summoning his courage, Roma went to investigate, but there was nothing unusual inside. However, he still didn't realize that the spirit was staring at him intently from behind. Back home, Roma inexplicably developed a high fever. Suddenly, he felt someone touching his feet. When he looked up, he saw nothing. Meanwhile, Marina was washing Roma's clothes and found the strange comb. She assumed her boyfriend had another woman, so she told Roma's sister about it and showed her the comb. His sister looked at the comb and felt it seemed familiar. She dug out old family photos and indeed found the comb in a picture of their parents. At the same time, Marina heard strange noises coming from inside the house.
As I passed by my neighbor's house, I saw a package labeled "Perfect Appearance." I was very tempted, so I secretly took the package home. Just as I was about to open it, my neighbor showed up at my door, asking if I had seen her package. I told her I hadn't seen it, but she became very agitated, starting to knock on my door repeatedly. When I looked outside again, the neighbor had disappeared. I went back inside and continued to open the package, and inside was a nose. I picked up the nose and put it on, but to my surprise, the fake nose sprouted countless tentacles and merged completely with my own nose. Looking at my beautiful face, I felt extremely pleased. The next day, I went to work, and my colleagues were all drawn to my stunning appearance. Hearing their compliments, I felt very confident. That evening, I passed by my neighbor's house again and saw a package outside, so I secretly took it again, but I didn't notice the words on the wall. "If you steal another package, I will kill you." This time, I found an eye inside the box. Soon the eye also fully merged with me. And I was very pleased with my reflection in the mirror. I started buying beautiful clothes, like crazy, documenting my beautiful self. But then the neighbor came to my door again, madly ringing the doorbell, suspicious that I was the one stealing her packages. I denied it once again. And just as I was about to call the police, it suddenly became quiet outside.
The loving couple discovered with horror that whenever they drew close to each other's bodies, their skin inexplicably sticks together, so they must maintain a certain distance. But even when they sleep in separate rooms, this strange phenomenon persists, especially at night. The man felt like he had a magnet attached to him, constantly drawn toward his girlfriend's room. Tim frantically braced himself against the wall with his arms, but unexpectedly, he had barely steadied himself when Lisa emerged from the room. approaching him in an odd posture. Sure enough, both of them leapt into the air simultaneously. In no time at all, the couple clung to each other like positive and negative poles. Especially when their fingers touched, their skin began to fuse rapidly. If this continues, their bodies will likely fuse into one. In desperation, Lisa quickly pulled out a bottle of muscle relaxant. You began eating it bite by bite, then tried desperately to pry them apart with your feet, though she barely managed to pry her hands apart with all her strength. From that moment on, their symptoms only grew worse. Even when separated by dozens of meters, they would be drawn together uncontrollably. To resolve this condition completely, Tim decided to break up with his beloved Lisa and took out a small knife to end his own life. But unbeknownst to him, Lisa had already taken her own life, because after Tim left, he had lost all will to live. And to save his girlfriend, Tim willingly fused his hand with it too. They no longer feared the pain of this fusion. Facing life and death, they resolutely chose to share both joy and sorrow. Before long, their bodies fused tightly into one. Not only did they become intertwined, when Lisa's parents, when they tried to persuade them to marry again, they became a complete union, never to be parted again.
A disheveled woman slowly stepped into the elevator. Elsa froze in fear, quickly hiding in the corner. She held her breath, even more confused when she noticed the woman didn't press any buttons. The elevator began to rise, and when it reached Elsa's floor, the woman calmly walked out, seeming completely familiar with the place. Elsa hesitated for a few seconds, then gathered her courage and followed. The woman stopped in front of the door next to Elsa's apartment and began knocking non-stop. Elsa quickly slipped past her, rushing back to her own apartment. As soon as she entered, Elsa grabbed the phone and dialed the police. But then the knocking suddenly stopped. She opened the door to check, only to find the woman was gone. The next evening, when Elsa returned home, she saw the woman again. This time, the woman was wildly banging on the door. The sound of the knocks made Elsa tremble with fear. Then, just like the night before, the knocking abruptly stopped, and the woman disappeared once again. Elsa let out a sigh of relief, thinking it was finally over. But in the next moment, a shadow passed by the window.